Good morning, Darren Daily community. Producer Mariana here. Today we have another special episode where we go one-on-one with Darren. This is another excerpt from a private interview session that Darren did that we are sharing exclusively with you here on Darren Daily First. So here we go. The question that Darren was asked in today's episode was, you're a New York Times best-selling author. You run multiple workshops and your business masterclass. Plus, you have a daily podcast and are a highly sought-after keynote speaker. How do you create all of your content and how do you make it scale? Let's hear what Darren had to say.
Yeah, the first answer is focus. I'm highly focused. The Darren Daily, yes, is an enormous investment of time and energy. That 3 to 7 minutes takes me 3 to 5 hours to do one 3 to 7 minute video. I know that I've got to keep people coming back every single day. Every day it's got to be poignant. Every day it's got to be great because the drift happens quickly. So I invest heavily to make them great every day. But now what I do, here's the magic. That's the only channel I actually focus on. That's the only thing that I do. So every other channel is just redistribution. You'll notice that everything on YouTube, everything that gets put on Facebook, everything goes on Instagram, everything goes on LinkedIn, everything that goes anywhere else is just a redistribution, parsed and pieced. It might not be just that video. It might be parts, quotes from that, but it's all off that core content. And that's a really big deal. Like I figure there's a wheel. You got to find out what the hub is. For me, the hub is Darren Daily. Why? Because we control it. I don't want to build my audience on something that Mark Zuckerberg controls or somebody else. So we own and control that audience and that attention space right there, so we can keep it clean. We can keep it from being hijacked with goofy ass, pre-rolls and all the rest of that happens on YouTube. So it's clean and controlled, commercial free, and so forth. And then we just use the rest of the channels to redistribute. And then the whole goal on any one of those other channels is to get them off those damn channels and back to the hub. And that strategy right there, I tell you, will save people so much time, because so much time is spent in trying to be great at Facebook and trying to be great at Instagram and trying to be great at freaking TikTok and all this just dumb ass stuff in ways that people spend their time and energy. You can live on those channels, but have it be a redistribution, repackaging, a slice and dice of where you are focusing your attention. Hopefully that's in a hub of what you control. So then I focus on high value curriculums, not books. So like, my buddy John Maxwell's written like 70 some odd books, and it's like, man, yeah, they'll sell for $15 if they sell it all. That's not a smart time, energy. I got the compound. If I got the Osborne Roller Coaster book, writing another book isn't going to change the equation. But another training program that sells for $2 or $10 or $1,000, that is, where people spend too much time on low margin stuff, right? And then getting really great at marketing them. So you take just the same productivity. The top fraction of 1% might create a program and sell $1 million of it. Like a fraction of 1% ever sells 7 figures worth of it. We've sold over $100 million of that program. Why? Well, the program's great. I will say it's world-class, but there's a lot of world-class programs that don't sell. We focus on it, and then we repackage and we create new ways of explaining its values to new audiences all the time. And so instead of 1 million, it's 100 million. So that's another thing of focus. Now, I never talk about revenue. It's just one of the things I don't do, but so people have some context here. We generate more revenue than most anybody in our industry. And those that have an equal level of revenue, let's say, they got 120 to 250 employees. I have a friend of mine who has similar revenue, but he has 220 some odd employees versus our 20, right? And so we generate more net by many multiple times, and significantly less stress and a better, saner life and lifestyle. And it all comes down to the choices that you're making of where you allocate time, energy, and attention. I have a framework called Bigger, Easier. It's like, how do we grow bigger, but yet have it be easier than the way we did it last year? And that's our constant mantra. And there's a framework for how you organize yourself so that you are growing bigger, but you are making everything easier. I talk about it on our business masterclass. I give that formula. How do you hyper scale? How do you hyper grow scalably and sustainably? Because most businesses, they build it up and then they blow it up, or they just create an albatross of obligation and stress and liability. They let their ambition get out of hand without the right structure about how to grow bigger, but also a framework for easier. So but it all goes back to, I would say, that first word, but that first word doesn't mean anything unless you understand the structure underneath it, but it goes back to focus.